There we go. You're going to see a little live stream notification pop up. Got it. For those of you, because I do see some new names in the chat tonight, that's awesome. For those of you who were here for day one, I do want to, this will be a much more collaborative discussion night. Really want to get into that self-worth homework that I gave out at the end there. It's fine if you missed day one. We'll be having many more of these boot camps in the future with some live trading elements in it. Each of the three of us trade very differently, but that's something we don't mind doing in front of people. But day one was very important because we needed to preface it with the mental side of it, the emotional side of it. Because if those things sounded foreign to you or they don't resonate with you, then it's something that needs to be addressed for you to be able to have success inside of this market. Got it. Now let me go back to sharing the screen. So as everyone is filtering in, I'm just going to recap some of what we did yesterday. So the three young ladies speaking today are myself, Somi, who did such a wonderful presentation yesterday, and KJ as well did a phenomenal presentation on mind mapping. All of us have been trading for a few years now. Myself, I started in 2019, so 2022, I'm heading into my fourth year. Holy biscuits! I can't believe it. And it's been a journey. You know, when you're going through the process of learning how to trade, it's very nerve-wracking, to be honest. I think as women, we want to just have every single step-by-step direction laid out in front of us so we know what we can do exactly to replicate. Whereas men, just generalizing, men will be like, just give me the button, buy or sell. I've been teaching my brother how to trade lately. He's like, look, just open the MT4 and I'll handle it from there. And I'm like, that's not what we want. No, you are not gonna hold my MT4. You can train and get your own one. So I worked my behind off for this thing. But yeah, every single second matters though. Just know that even if you're still taking 0.01s everywhere, or if you're still hesitating to enter into the markets, it's okay. Because as long as you're still studying, as long as you're looking at candles every day, as long as you're active, it all counts. It all matters. Time on the charts is the greatest indication of profitability and success inside of this market. Because if you're not looking at it, you're like, okay, I'll give 10, 15 minutes a day to it. It'll take longer. You're delaying your dream. You have to look into what causes procrastination and what's causing your anxiety. What's really causing your hesitance inside this market? Because it's just candles, and candles are just emotion and price. There's nothing to fear. So if you're experiencing feelings of fear of loss or fear of inaccuracy or fear of being wrong or any of that, those are human things that can be addressed. There's therapy for that. There's mindset homework for that. There's counseling for that. I am the first person. Y'all know I'm overly transparent. Y'all don't see me ashy. Y'all don't see my sideburns. Y'all seen way too much about Alana. But I say all of that to say you have to be willing to be vulnerable and transparent. And that goes right in line with the topic of feminine. The feminine is vulnerable. But the feminine is strong, but the feminine is strong in be brash, just has to know, has to say. It just has to be certain. So if you're approaching these markets and you're feeling uncertain, I don't know what's going to happen. If you're feeling all that, that means you're not connected to your body. And I'm the first to so long. It's only recently, like I hammered my way. It just started flowing like crazy, and I'm like, okay. So that's what we're getting into today. I'm going to pull Somi back up first. Each of us are going to take 10 or 15 minutes to recap what we touched on yesterday. And after each of the three of us have touched on the things that we brought up yesterday, we really want to open up the floor and have a collaborative Q&A for everyone who is here present. Not only will this give us the opportunity to hear active feedback from people who are learning how to trade in this space and the things that they really feel like they need, or what they feel like they're deficient in, or what they feel like they could use more support in. But this would be a good opportunity to set the tone for the next boot camps that we'll be having. Like, my intention with anyone that I mentor, with anyone that's on my team, with anyone that is in the street that I don't even know, and in this space for some, with trading, it literally was just a flick of a switch of connecting myself to my body, which that's something I used to think was really frou-frou. That was something I'm like, okay, yeah, birds and and ooh, you know, like I used to like crap on that for so long, but it's not something to play with, y'all. Like for real. And I really think that was part of my struggle for so long. So that when I did connect, I'm like, okay, I'm humbled. Here's my humble pie. I will eat the whole thing. Hopefully it's below 500 calories because I'm on the current other goal right now. But that's all besides the point. All that's besides the point. So Sony, I am so grateful to have you back again with us today. You're such a powerhouse, phenomenal woman. And I was trading NAS the same day you were trading NAS, and it was so interesting to hear you say, yeah, I needed enough money to just like go buy a house. So I just traded NAS and just like made a whole house in a day. Okay. So I'm definitely here to bring you back up so you can both wrap up some of your experiences from yesterday and then really prep yourself for the Q&A session, because I'm sure these young ladies would love to grill a 7-figure female trader. So.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you, Alana. You are absolutely incredible. Like what you've created, and how you come with such humbleness and vulnerability and wisdom, and what I love so much, what you're searching for, you're also sharing with everybody else. So you remind me a lot of myself in my younger days. She was like these two young ladies, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not young. I still feel young though, but I do have, my second child is going to be 18 next month. That is crazy. I'm going to have 2 adult children. I can't believe it. But so yesterday, oh, I look amazing. Thank you. Can you just message me that every morning? Just remind me. It's like, just send it to me on Instagram. So yesterday, you guys, life is taking me on a journey in my 43 years of really just unraveling all the things that we're taught as children, especially as being a woman, and how that infiltrated into my life with raising sons and raising daughters and raising and being married, and nothing like pain to let you know that you were thinking wrong, right? Isn't smacking your head up against the wall. Some of us will play the victim and blame everybody, but I've always been a person of like, what was that pain? God dang, that was painful. God, I don't ever want to go through that again. And so that's where my life was 11 years ago, and that's what brought me down this pathway. So yesterday we were just talking about the power of feminine and our ability to attach to this universal intelligence. And so some of the things that we've been told as women is you're too emotional. But what they didn't tell us is that that emotion is a frequency, and that emotion is constantly picking up messages from all around you. It's why, like in Home Alone, all of a sudden, what's her face is like, her child is like, it has disappeared. No one's told her. And she's like, Kevin, because she all of a sudden feels that like, wait a minute, my last child, I have 4 children, but something's not right. Like Kevin's not here. It's because we're constantly feeling things. And so when we come into the market and we trade one thing, a woman has the ability to intimately know and understand a frequency and a currency. Money is just a frequency. It's just a currency. That's all it is. And so when we come to the market, We want to choose our strategy, but we want to put time in the market, intimately getting to know how that one thing moves. Whether you choose gold, whether you choose Bitcoin, your intuition is going to tell you what's for you. And as you're starting to trade it, you're going to start intuitively knowing and understanding how it moves. And I'm going to show you guys this later, how you can actually start with drawing out your charts. But then as you get to know it, you're going to understand, like, man, NAS moved up here. It's about time that it's going to start moving down here. Let me see where it's going to go. And so women have a powerful, powerful radar that is called our intuition, which is connected through our emotions. We just have to be able to tap into it. And we tap into it through something called our intuition, which is some people call our sixth sense. Now, the goal and the challenge is to know the difference between your intuition and your actual neural pathways. Your neural pathways can be connected to brokenness, right? Can be connected to your brain saying, don't do this, don't do that. Da, 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 da. It's a different feeling in your body when it's your brain telling you to do something out of your trauma and out of your pain and out of the lack of information that you might have, and intuition. Everybody has a different place in their body where they can feel it, right? I feel my intuition on the back of my neck. I feel a pressure in my heart, and I feel it in my stomach. My brain, I'll feel like a pressure in my brain. I'll feel pressure in my throat. So it's your job to get to know which is talking to you and which you're going to listen to. A lot of people will listen to the brain. You know how you know it's the brain? The brain brings up fear and doubt. Jump out of that trade, jump out of that trade. Get out of that trade, right? Or if you're in a relationship, it'll tell you to do something. It'll see stimuli of what hurt you before. That person might not even be doing the same thing, but your brain will pick up, oh, remember that person that cheated on you? They said that exact thing. And that person could be like, I'm just going to the store. I'm going to pick up this. No, I heard that before. And you could go off because the brain is like, I heard it. Don't fall for that again. So you've got to understand that powerful, powerful emotional intelligence that a woman has. And you got to understand how to tap into that. The next thing that we talked about is the power of a woman's word. So this is going to free a lot of you, because in the masculine way, when we've been reading these books, they've been saying, do these affirmations over and 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 over again, right? But it's not when you repeat something over and over and over to yourself, like I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, you're actually sending out a frequency that you're not. I want you guys to sit in something and know it. And so when you say something once, your job is to imagine your way into it. And so that's why visualization and imagination and meditation are so important. You have to sit in your imagination and align, I am wealthy. Sit in that. What does that look like? What does that feel like? What does that taste like? Sit in it. Say it once. Don't keep repeating it to yourself over and over and over. And I mean, like, when you're sitting and doing your affirmations, don't repeat the same affirmation over and over. Align yourself with your imagination. So I'm hoping that speaks true to you guys, to you ladies, because I don't know if you've ever felt when you're repeating those affirmations, it gives you like this weird feeling. Mine, it gives me this weird feeling in my chest if I'm not aligning with it. But if I sit in my imagination, all of a sudden I'm aligning with it. I'm going to show you today how to do that before you go into the charts, based on your plan for the day, whether it's 3%, 8%, 1% that you're going to get done. And you're going to look at that number and you're going to visualize it and you're going to feel it. When you match the frequency of it, by law, it has to come to you. And you have to believe that law. You have to believe that there's a law that's sustaining you and that wants you to be abundant. And so it has to, by law, come to you. when you align yourself with it. And then I think the last thing we talked about a few things, but the last thing I'm going to talk about right now is the power of your word. My daughter called me today. She's like a national volleyball player, and they had the worst practice that they've ever had today. They're about to go into nationals in Canada. And she's like, Mom, I don't know what to say. And the coaches pulled me aside and they said that I'm going to have to lead. And when the team's acting this certain way, that I'm the one who's going to have to bring the fire. And Mom, I don't know again. And I was like, stop talking. she's always like, Mom, you're so harsh. She's like, whenever I hear something negative, I'm like, stop. I don't want to hear it. But I was like, you're professing. This is why they called women witches, because whatever we speak, it has to come to pass. And so I said, stop talking about what is in reality and start speaking what you want to see, and speak it as is. Right? And so I said, you tell your teammate when a mistake is made, that won't happen again. Next time I see you doing this, next time I see your reflexes acting more quickly, I see you right up against the net, I see you slamming that ball down and no one touching it. This is what I see for you. I see us rising up and getting and winning nationals this year. This is my last year. We're going to do it for me. We're going to do it for us. We're going to do it for the coaches. We're going to do it because that's what our goal is and was since the beginning of the year. So it has to happen. So I was like, these are the things that you speak over your life. No more. If we all knew the power of word, we would never speak anything negative ever again. What you speak has to come past on this earth. And so they have ruined our minds by making women feel less than. And then they also ruined our sensuality, our sexuality of women living in pleasure. And they said, hey, you do not deserve pleasure because you don't live up to this invisible graven image of this woman. So that means you have to settle for less. Guess what happens when a woman settles for less? She asks for less. She expects less. And guess what happens to our children and our men? When we expect less, when we don't expect pleasure in our lives, when we don't expect abundance in our lives, then we create a sedated society. How do you know that the power of women sedates men? Look how they sell sex. They have a Coke bottle in the shape of a woman. And so that's to tell you that just our shape alone sedates men. Just our shape alone. Guess what our words do? And so because we're unhappy, we start to nag because there's still this deep feeling inside of us of who a man, who a child, who this world's supposed to be. So when they don't show up with what we feel on the inside and we don't really understand that we're connected to the invisible, we start nagging because we're like, wait a minute, I don't know what this feeling is, but you're not showing up with what my feeling is. And so we start nagging and say, oh, you're a liar, you're this, you're that, you never do anything good, you never do, instead of speaking what we want and holding our value until that something comes to us, levels up to us, right? So speak what you want in your life, in every single area. Start aligning yourself with your pleasures. Note what your pleasures are. I don't care if do you guys have Dairy Queen? I love Dairy Queen. The States has Dairy Queen, right? Yeah, right? You just don't have Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons you don't have, I always say. But yeah, I love my London Fog from Tim Hortons. I love my Blizzard cookie dough. No, or what is it? It's brownie and score. Blizzard. I love Lily's. I love being in my room by myself. I love my own space. I love ripped jeans. I love looking for clothes online. I love collecting wigs. Like I love different powerful smells like frankincense and myrrh. These are the things that I love, love, love. And so whenever I start to shift, I fall into the things that I love so that I can shift back into positivity. I have my tricks in which I can change the chemicals of my body to remind me to speak the words that I am supposed to speak over my life, over my children's life, over my over everybody that comes in line with my words, that you all are millionaire traders, that all of us rise together and we stop things like sexual slavery, child slavery, where we rise together and we make sure that everyone on this planet is fed healthy food, where we rise together as women and set the standard and the value system for this whole world so that nobody ever suffers again. We need money, we need word, we need us to know ourselves and know the power of feminine to be able to do that. So that's all I'm going to share. I'm going to give it back to Alana. Thanks, ladies.
I just love how simply you put things together. And it just is matter of fact, and the lives that you've lived in this one lifetime is both of you as a relative, a friend, a coach, a trader. Like, we all wear so many hats, and I think that's something else that we forget as women oftentimes. I mean, people collectively, but we're such self-sacrificial people that sometimes we forget about the things that bring us joy, forget about the things that bring us happiness, forget about all of the things that make us outside of these spaces. So if you're wanting to elevate in your life, you have to reconnect to yourself, because the frequency that you emit is that's what Somi's speaking about. The frequency that you emit sets the tone for how everything else is around you. As a woman, we create. As women, we create. And we're talking about feminine and masculine energy, and both people have both. But us owning our feminine energy and how that specifically connects to the markets, we touched on yesterday as well. I'm sure most of you have seen that chart of the emotional cycles of the market. You know, literally, if the market's pure emotion, who better to connect to it than us? So balance ourselves, make ourselves happy so that we're in a more balanced state to be able to read analysis and elevate your trading. Man, back up. She literally was tapping on let me switch this over to KJ. Here we go. You ready, Miss KJ?
Ready for you, ladies. Thank you all, and thank you, Alana, for this platform. And I'm just blessed to be here to be able to share with you. I'm gonna pull up some information. So yesterday I spoke on mind mapping, and my background is financial management, financial consulting. That's my own private firm that I have, is Hummingbird Consulting. And what I was discussing with you yesterday was in regards to reality versus biases, and how in investing and in trading and in life, it all kind of comes full circle in regards to the 9 biases of financial behavioral finances, which I study, and knowing how to identify, and then being able to identify, going to the steps of making sure that we're not allowing our biases and I'm just going to call it like it is, prejudices, because these are limiting beliefs that we've allowed to be ingrained in us. The most formative years are from age 0 to 8. And unless you're able to consciously change your subconscious and consciously change those limiting beliefs and consciously change those biases, then that's what's going to fuel the gut reaction. Your intuition is going to be slighted towards the negative side versus believing and having that insight into yourself that what your true reality is what you call to the forefront instead of believing those biases. And I know it sounds like, okay, like we're here to talk about trading, we're here to talk about money, like all this sounds kind of like woo woo, but it really is. I mean, there's so many different aspects to how we come to the markets. And what I've seen from going from a consulting firm to trading is that so many people come to the markets with this immediate bias of how they react to money, how they have been taught about money. So that's what we talked about yesterday. I touched on three of the most common ones, and I will be sending out some notes from some notes from that portion of the discussion, because it can get a little bit overwhelming, or there's a lot of information that I kind of gave you yesterday. I don't want to go into a full presentation on that, but today I think that for my portion of it, I'm just going to let you know it all does come back and full circle, from the behavioral finance piece to our mindset approach and the purpose. And our purpose today, and our purpose in life, and our purpose in showing up to this event or to the charts is so that we can pull out of the markets what we want, so that we can receive all the good things that we want to get out of this trading journey that we're all on together. And so I leave you with the two questions of how are you showing up and what are your focal points? And what I mean by that will be the document that I'm going to actually send out to you along with the notes. You'll receive this. It's part of something that I started with my team in I Am Academy. And so the focal points is really centering on your purpose of why you're showing up, so that you can be on purpose for yourself. And it's a personal trade agreement that you can share if you want to, or maybe it's just to get you to, like it says, focal points, to refocus back on you, to understanding why you're showing up each day or however when you trade. So it's some guided questions that some of them are, about the mechanics of trading, but some of them are really about making sure you're showing up for yourself and what that looks like. And then when you get through this document, my hope for you is that it'll give you more clarity on your unknown biases that have been ingrained in you from your unconscious mind, to now bringing forefront your conscious mind of what I need for this moment as I sit in front of my charts and I do my analysis and what that looks like. And I'm really excited to share with you the next time we're able to get on a Zoom together and share with you some nuggets and tidbits on the charts and trade with you. So Alana, Somi, I'm looking forward to being on this platform again with you ladies, and I am gonna turn it over.
So amazing. One of the things I love most about skill set, like seriously, in different times where I like call her, because I'm such an emotional person, right? Size up, I'm under leverage. And that led into discussions of risk management. And the portion that I touched on yesterday was self-worth, which is when we open up this dynamic conversation. I'm assuming for the same reason is success. You want to see a tangible shift. Running that do this on a daily basis, but take advantage of this opportunity and ask questions and things. The portion that I wanted to just share right quick, I want to drop this article in the Zoom chat as well. I'm gonna share my screen here. There we go. So I'm gonna drop the link to this article because I think it's super relevant. It's just a Psychology Today article. I'm the type of person who likes to subscribe to different articles and publications. As y'all might know, my professional training was ICU nursing, so I was subscribed to all kind of critical care journals and this. I'm like a little mouse. I love to consume data and knowledge. So I would frequently see in Psychology Today, they would touch on emotions, emotional management, self-esteem, self-worth, mood, and I would just consume all this information. And I'm thinking, oh, it's not doing anything for me. But now that I've arrived at this point in my life, I literally can pull back and refer on everything that I read. So I say that to say, do the work of personal development, do the mental work. It is, and you will have that shift one day. I was one of those people like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to have that shift. Speaking back to what Somi was saying earlier, I can personally attest to the fact that I personally have been my own roadblock for so many years. I would feel those things and get caught in the technical side of things instead of feeling my way through. As a woman, I'm designed to feel. I used to hate my emotions so much, being transparent. I used to hate the fact that I was so emotional, so sensitive. I'm a very empathetic person. So when someone else starts crying, I start crying with them. like I used to hate that so much, but it's literally one of my superpowers. It allows me, when I'm balanced, it allows me to connect people. It allows me to hold spaces and forums like this for other people to be able to have information and connect and make new connections. Hopefully all of you on this call might take time to reach out and connect with each other, because clearly there's hungry women on this call who are looking to improve their trading skill set and being more in touch with their emotions. Like myself, that's even how I've got to the point where I am inside this space. I would go to every trading boot camp I saw, every building boot camp I saw, everything. So I'm like, I have to find the answer. I can't sleep until I find the answer. So that drivenness in me allowed me to run into a Somi, run into a KJ, run into my trading partner, Jalecia. My God, I'm so grateful for you. Run into Latoya, run into all these amazing people. Listen to your intuition, listen to your gut, do the work, and be very, very careful with the words that leave your mouth. As women, we literally have the ability, even if you haven't, you have the ability to create life. Not just from your womb, but from your mouth. So if you're constantly doubting yourself out loud, even in jest, I want to touch on that because y'all know I'm a big old jokester now. Those things accumulate and they culminate in your relationships, even if it's just minimally. So if you shift that mindset, the fact that you do have that power, whether you acknowledge it or not, and you take the time to be very judicious with your words, very, very meaningful with what you say. One of my mentors literally told me to go around to every mirror in my home and write the words, I am worthy. Because we subconsciously absorb things. Like it's a superpower that women have. That's why when you walk in your home and something doesn't feel quite right, you just know. Or if someone enters a room, even if they're silent, you feel that person enter a room. So knowing that you have that level of power, apply that power to your charts. And that starts with conditioning your mind to believe that you are worthy, that you are great. I struggled with self-worth for a very, very long time. And I still do to some degree, but until I started addressing it and repairing it, I didn't see that reflected in my trading. I used to doubt myself so much. I could take an entry on NASDAQ and catch 300, 400 pips at a time, but I would be doing it on a 0.01. I'm like, yay, I made $4. No, we're not doing that anymore. So yeah, that's what I wanted to sum up and say. And I wanted to drop this article for you to go through later. There's some practical tangible steps in here that you can go through, because self-worth, if I had to choose one thing, especially for myself, being such a very type A person, the one thing that improved my trading dramatically was working on my self-worth. And you have to figure out how you're going to respond to that on your own. People were giving me, I didn't feel like it worked for me, you know? So you have to figure out what down that self-worth paragraph. But honestly, it's also going to be out of the way. It makes your trading far easier. It really does. A resource that I'm going to drop to you in here, I do have a training on my YouTube channel on this calculator that I'm going to show you right now. I go through some different components of desktop MT4. You can use in here, and how do you, and I even touch on my entry a little bit in there. So I dropped that to you in here. The other and I trade, well, actually this one's MT5. I love MT5. MT4 and MT5 are very similar. The main difference being in MT5, you have far more lower time frames in here, and as a scalper, that's really helpful for me. So I really network congestion in general. Far more people use MT4, and so few people use MT5. It's like I feel as though my trades go through faster, and there's less. It's when there's less people trying to use one resource at one time, things flow smoother. So in my opinion, that's why I like MT5. MT4 and MT5 are very similar, but they each have their own servers or where the data goes through. So those are rationales why I use MT5. Clearly, I have MT4 and MT5. I use both because some of my brokers only on MT4, but I love MT5 a bit more. That's just me because of the lower time frames. Whew, I love it. This particular calculator is a free calculator, and in that video, I completely walk you through how to install it. It's a free tool. What I love about this calculator so much is that what a contract size is. Any pair, a contract is negotiated between the
Sorry
broker.
to interrupt you. Alana, is it possible that you can switch over your audio to your phone?
Oh, well, it is on.
Maybe turn your camera off because you keep cutting in and out.
Okay. Hopefully that's a little bit better.
Yeah, that's
general.
good. Maybe.
Wonderful. You literally can take profit, say how much risk you want to take per trade, and then it monetarily and how much you stand to gain monetarily. It tells you your risk reward ratio. Like this is almost a 1-to-3 that I have set up on here. I was just coming over here and playing with this daily candle because these daily candle ranges are sensitive. Like this. So my thought process is when I go down to lower time frames, you know, I'm looking at the to low. So as price retraces into it, because price will back up to some degree, it's already distributing right here. When I come into Asian, I'm expecting price to pull back, and wherever it stops, like a schematic, I love Wyckoff. So either it's going to make an accumulation.
Yeah,
model, and depending on.
Unfortunately, you're still cutting out. You're catching like 3 words and then it cuts out for a long time.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. My
Yeah, we
wife.
need to open up the floor because we can't even hear what you're saying.
Oh man. Okay. Well, let's do that. Let's do that because I really want to get into that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into Q&A because I don't want to squander time. But this is what we plan on doing more so in the future. I really want to get into how I see the charts, how Somi sees the charts, how KJ sees the charts. So let's open up the floor to questions. And if I need to, I'll start calling on people. But is there anyone who would like to volunteer to share their self-worth paragraph from yesterday? Anyone? You said lift my router 3 to 4. Okay.
I don't mind doing a little bit, Alana, if that's okay.
Yes, that'd be great.
Okay. What I wrote down is that I'm worthy of success in the trade markets. I listen, give advice, and don't attach myself to other people's outcomes. I get awesome results with my clients, people, patients. I've recently started to feel my own power shine through. I'm being a better mum to my children who are mostly grown up. I'm learning boundaries with my daughter who isn't like I was, which is needy because that's what I was like before. I'm a loving, caring partner to Peter who responds to me with care and attention. I create loving connections and empower people to thrive in their lives. I'm becoming more sensual, but I still have a fear of failure, being wrong, and of trusting.
That's beautiful, Gabby. Thank you for sharing that.
It's okay.
I think that's beautiful. I really do, because there's so many women who I know I've personally talked to who want all of those things. So it's very good for you to identify what you're worth. Very good. So if you can, try and read that once a day.
Yeah.
Out loud, because your voice is powerful.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to share? Anyone? And even if you haven't. Oh, come on, Mel. Yeah.
Which is crazy because I missed yesterday, unfortunately. But after hearing the previous speaker, I'm like, that's like what you already tasked us with. So I feel like I can join. I'm about to get transparent with some strangers. The accountability. Okay. I am alcohol free. I am a master trader whose 9-figure portfolio grows by leaps and bounds daily. I am the Amos legacy, creating trust fund babies for generations to come. I am smoke free because I no longer desire the life of a smoker. I am who God says I am. I am a lender and not a borrower. I am a successful, multifaceted businesswoman. I am healthy, disease, and sickness free. I am a proud grandmother celebrating all of my grandchildren's milestones because God has spared my life and limbs to be able to be around and moving on my own. I am able to pay off my dad's house and all his bills while sustaining my lifestyle and investments. I am a homeowner of 4 properties, 10 vacation rentals around the world, and 4 homes for displaced people. I am a successful life coach, and I am a proud owner of an Audi electric or hybrid SUV, blacked out, dual exhaust Hemi with a Bose audio system.
I don't know if you can hear it, but I just had to do a snap on that last. Finish it.
I love it. Yes, you are.
Did I do okay?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That reminded me. Have you ladies ever gone to a Zoom class or a class where women are dancing, and then one woman will make like one move and all the other women will be like, yeah, like shout. But isn't that powerful when we declare how we all wanted to shout?
Yes.
Isn't that amazing? These are the things I think we should be writing all over Instagram, all over Facebook, all over TikTok, declaring, declaring, declaring. And when you declare what is rightfully yours, it causes vibration of the voice is so powerful, but it causes this eruption of joy, and it frees the rest of us to declare. That was amazing. Thank you, Mel and Gabriella.
Thank you.
So
Anyone?
ladies, you can also do just something that made you think, that's something that disrupted a paradigm, or something that you just, like just to get people talking. You could do a declaration, or something that just shook you, something that just made you think from yesterday and today. Danielle, I think you have something to say. Come on, bring it.
Hi, I wasn't here yesterday, but I know my sister attended, so I did want to join. And she told me the homework was to write a self-worth statement. And I wasn't sure what that was until I heard the other two ladies share. So would it be okay if I shared my self-worth statement? Because I've been doing similar work and it really aligns with what y'all are talking about. So I've changed the want statements to I am statements. So I am confident and I have high self-esteem. I'm eliminating student loan debt using other people's money. I'm connecting with my life partner and husband. I'm purchasing my first multifamily property in Oakland or Berkeley in 2022. I am cutting 10 pounds to reach a sustainable weight of 150 pounds by eating nutritiously vegan and maintaining my muscle mass. I'm training 3 days a week and walking 3 days a week, 3 miles, 3 days a week. I am a master stock investor. I am a master crypto investor. I'm retiring on my 42nd birthday off of my stock and crypto investments. And I'm living financially free with $300,000 worth of annual income, traveling the world and eating delicious food, meeting new and interesting people.
Yes! Hallelujah! Okay. Just kidding. No, I'm showing my age. My kids hate it when I do that. Oh my goodness. Who's next? Who's next wants to declare over their lives? And you guys, I want you to notice too, like Danielle, that was amazing, but Mel's voice, you see how it hits your heart? You see the vibration when someone's like, I am? That's what your brain needs. Those vibrations go back to your brain, that the brain causes a chemical reaction. That chemical reaction actually starts to create new neural pathways. And so that's why, sometimes I know Morgan Simpson says to shout, I am, because the louder the vibration, the more chemical response you have, which causes an electrical response, which starts to create new neural pathways, which actually creates cellular matter. In that cellular matter is DNA. And so with your word, you're actually shifting your DNA. In that DNA, in each cell, you're creating neural pathways that each cell starts to communicate with each other. When they start communicating with each other, guess what that is? That's an electric and magnetic field. That electric and magnetic field now becomes your aura. Your aura now is speaking to the universe, which is controlled by your emotions, and starts calling those things into your life, all from the power of your voice. Jesus, we are powerful. Who's next? Now Bliss and Terry, you guys are listening.
There's
Back.
people.
Go ahead.
I know there's people on this call that come on.
Okay, I'll go. Um, Mine is not like I am statements. When I heard Alana assign us a homework, it was like it hit me kind of deep. And this is the kind of a topic that is like, it's a very difficult topic and it's a very complex topic and it has a lot of layers to it on what on what my work is. And I'm on this journey of developing what it is and walking to it and getting into my higher self and knowing who I am. And one of the things that my higher self has told me is that until I'm able to share myself, I'm not going to walk in abundance. I have to be able to share myself to be able to walk in abundance. Some people might need to know my journey in order to know that they can still travel, you know, get out of the places that they have been and travel to. So when I also want to start this off for saying like, um, I got this thing, Buddha says when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So yesterday, I didn't even know that this talk was going on until JJ dropped it in the chat with us. And when I seen it, I like stopped everything. I was like, wait, I don't care if I'm in I don't care if I'm in the store. I don't care if I'm driving in my car. I'm going to make sure that I'm on the Zoom so I can be on this call. And this call was something that I needed, you know. And each one of you guys, at least one of you beautiful, beautiful ladies are teaching me something that I need to hear that absorbs into my unconscious that is helping me lift up to this higher level of my self-worth. Yesterday, KJ, if I was who I'm talking, I want to make assumptions, but I think she was talking about me when she said that I show up. The one thing is, even I'm in this battle, or I'm on this journey of trying to become this cognitive dissonance that I have in my head that I'm trying to get to. Like, I know I'm not aligned with who I want to be. So, or who I am. So I'm working on a journey, but the one thing is I still show up. I show up every time because even if I get an ounce of nugget, it's an ounce more knowledge, it's an ounce more mindset, it's an ounce more than it was the day before. And each ounce turns into a pound, and pretty soon a pound is already going into a ton. And it's more than what I was before. And so that's why I show up. And so I say this, I'm trying to and see, like, I say this because when I did this, I wrote a whole page, and it was probably going to go into more, but I fell asleep because I was tired, and I'm constantly going because I'm tired. But during me falling asleep, I think I went into like a prayer in my sleep, because when I woke up, I was told my higher self told me to read a book, and so the book that I read was this book by Carolyn Myers, and what she said to me, what it said in there, it's a book called Enter Castle, which is about going into your soul. And when they got into this one chapter that hit me so deep, and it just kind of like cut through me, and sometimes you need to be cut so you can be able to open up and go up to that next level. And the chapter was on humiliation. And she talked about this woman who was like, she known herself as to be a healer, right? But when she was walking down the street, she was jogging down the street on a dog, and she seen this woman, her dog got hit by a car, and the woman is freaking out. And she got this voice, she was like, oh my God, what should I do? How can I help? And then she got this voice that said, lay hands on her dog. But at the same time, when that inner voice came in to say, lay hands on the dog, she got that pause, like, well, what if I don't do anything? Like, you've talked to yourself, and it's that bad self-talk that stops you from being able to be in the action of being a healing or being of service to someone else, because you are living in fear of that humiliation that you're not going to go the right way. And when I heard that story, it cut me so deep, because I feel and I believe like that is what's got me paralyzed. That is what has me not moving forward, because I have this fear of humiliation. So I can sit here and say that I know my self-worth, but if I know my self-worth, why am I not moving forward like I should be? Because that fear of humiliation is stopping me from going into my self-worth. But if I if I know my self-worth, I shouldn't have this fear of humiliation. So therefore, that is where the the paradigm shift, or that is there. Like, I need to move forward out of this. And this right here, because the main thing, a lot of the main thing you said last night, if you know your work, you're gonna write this paragraph, or we won't even be talking about this. And that hit me. That hit me so hard. But I mean, that is where I'm at. I'm on this mental journey. I am into nutrition. I am into health. Right now, I'm on a fast, and I've been fasting for 140 hours right now. And I plan on maybe fasting for 21 days. It is easier for me to do this fast than it is just for me to get up here and talk to you guys, because of that fear of humiliation. And I think it's that fear of word vomit or saying the wrong thing, and then people are judging. And I know I need to move out of not fearing that. Like, I need to move into, like, I've been saying these prayers about being at peace, and then at moving out of peace and not moving out of control. So if I move out of peace and I don't move out of control, that means that I know that God got this. So when I speak, he speaks through me, because I'm highly connected. Energy flows through me. I shine like bright, I glow, and I'm enlightened, and it sings. So I need to eliminate that fear and just know that I have peace. And that's the journey that I'm working on. And that's the direction that I'm moving at. And I see this, but I still have this like little shift in my head right now as I'm trying to move towards this goal. And this is the reason why I always show up, because I need to be around this good energy of wonderful people like you, so it can reflect in me, and I can gleam, and I can grab onto it and keep on moving in that direction. That's where I'm at with my work right now.
That was so timely and powerful. And DL, I've had the opportunity to talk to you on numerous occasions. Y'all, number one, DL, such a phenomenal young woman. And I've literally watched her blossom. I met her in Hawaii last month. I was teaching a bootcamp class. And just her infectious, bubbly, positive personality. Within 10 minutes of meeting me, she's like, "Would you like some digestive enzymes?" Like, just looking out for me, concerned about my well-being as well as her own, just a giver. So givers like myself tend to struggle with self-worth in a unique kind of way, because we give, but we doubt our own self-worth when it comes to receiving. Speak about humiliation and you working through that, and the level of growth I hear in you right now. I'm so proud of you. I want to come through this phone and with humiliation, shame, embarrassment, all these different things that hinder us in intuition or feeling about the market. Oh, I think it's going to go down. And then that fear will creep in. What if it doesn't? The dog got hit, lay hands on him. But what if we can start getting to the root of addressing those things? We're limitless. We are literally limitless. I'm telling you. Thank you. Your vulnerability helps someone else who might be afraid to open up and speak. I know me talking to you has helped me immensely. And I'm so excited, y'all. DL is hosting an event next March, which I'm so honored to be attending. St. Patrick's Day, she's having a community health and wellness day, and is literally gathering up all of these holistic people so she can heal those people around her. Like, selfless. When I tell y'all selfless, this woman's selfless and consistent and shows up for people. My God, I'm so proud to know you, DL.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I have to say something, because you are freaking powerful. Holy crap. But there's a couple things I wanted to say. One is, you guys, in this industry, we hear a lot of people growing. It's not that we're growing, we're becoming. And so when you step into who you actually are, you're actually shaving off everything that is holding you back, right? That's exactly what you're doing. You're saying doubt, oh, hell no, not today. Fear, oh, hell no, not today. Oh, really, this happened to me in the past. Well, I'm going to forgive it because it's holding me back to who I actually am. That's why Michelle Obama had that book called Becoming. Because you have to let go of everything that is stopping you from becoming the amazing presence that you are on this earth. And everything that speaks against it must be deleted instantly. And when they talk about that success loves speed, it's not success loves speed doing anything. Success loves speed when the spirit tells you to do something, you obey it. You don't let your mind get in the way and you just do it. That's what success loves, is that you followed your intuition, you followed your higher self, and you did what you were supposed to do, what you were called to do. And it was able to work through you. We talked yesterday about through me consciousness. It is not that I myself, this body is worthy, but it is the presence that runs through me, that runs through all things, that is worthy and is working to work through me. I no longer can own rape that happened to me. I can no longer own the cheating that happened to me. I can no longer own the bills that I couldn't pay and my kids were left like starving. I can't own that anymore. What's the purpose of owning it? This is the process of becoming. And another thing we talk a lot about in network marketing, yes, follow a leader, copy and paste a leader until you start to learn to listen to your intuition. I remember there was a story David Minetti said he has a formula of what's worked for him, the types of people. They have to be married, they have to be this, they have to be that. And Bryce was like, I think I want to build throughout the schools. I think I want to build throughout university. And he's like, David's like, those people don't have no money. What you talking about? Like, don't build. But he let Bryce follow his intuition. And before I knew it, I went to London 2 years ago. I think Bryce was like, I don't know, chairman 500. And like 2.5 months later, he's chairman 750 or 4 months later. I don't know what it was, but it was so fast because he acted quickly on his intuition. And we just have to get out of our way.
That's a word. So, I've spoken with you about my struggles with that before. I might have told y'all before, I have eidetic memory. So it's like just one step below photographic memory. So holding on to trauma is something that is have a bad trade. So the next time you go to take a setup, you're like, but what if it goes like the last one? But you're fighting your intuition to get into the trade, but you're listening to your past negative experience to not take the trade. Then you watch your trade go up past your TP, past TP3, past TP18, past TP95. Dang, I should have gotten that trade. So as women, we have powerful intuition, but if you are holding on to a lot of negative past experiences, a lot of fear, a lot of doubt, your intuition is muffled. You're stifling it. You're choking it. Mm-hmm. So honestly, to get the profitability in this market, it might therapy. It's seriously, I'm in therapy. I stays in therapy. I'm not afraid to say that. I have 2, 3, 4 therapists, as a matter of fact, in different parts of my life: financial therapy, mental therapy, emotional therapy, workflow therapy, and also my mentor taught me. He's a very tall gentleman with glasses. If your mentor doesn't have a mentor, you need a new mentor. Go ahead, KJ.
I'm not sure. I didn't hear that last part, but I was just going to chime in and say, I think why it happens to not only men and women in regards to, the self-worth or knowing that I'm enough or how fast something will go if you believe it. And it's really that what you fight for is what you get to keep kind of syndrome. And I feel like the more I talk with traders in regards to, just like how you said, I hesitated. So, I saw my entry, there went my entry, and then it hit TP 15. It all comes back to, well, you're fighting for your limiting belief, or do you want to fight for something else that might be a little bit deeper rooted that could build you up to give you that confidence. And I'm something in the financial field, we call it the endowment theory. And basically it's basically states that people will put a higher value on something that they own for themselves versus trying to own something and then lose it, or something that I could potentially obtain. So what I got it now, so it's got to be worth a lot more versus what I might put out and I could gain and have value that way. And I say that because I feel like as I'm listening to these beautiful statements and hearing DL speak, it reminds me that we truly, as our own human being of ourselves and coming to these markets, we truly need to remember and fight for the belief system of I'm receiving more and I'm worth to receive that. I'm receiving more and I'm calling it out by its name. I'm giving that out to which I don't need and I'm releasing it, and I'm able to stand up and say, this is me and I'm here and I'm ready. And I just love that. I love hearing, I just love hearing these statements. It's beautiful.
Does anybody else want to share? I mean, anybody else? You're already $11 trillion a day. Do you understand that? Do we really truly understand? We are already $11 trillion a day, which means something in your currency, your frequency attracted that. That is already you. Mel's like, huh?
Be scared.
$11 trillion a day is the frequency. The very fact that you already started trading and learning it is the fact that you already are. There's no worth $11 trillion a day. It's either in the spiritual landscape, you are or you aren't. You are the frequency or you aren't. And the very fact that you started with I'm Academy means that you are. The very fact that you heard about it and said yes means you were on the same frequency for that moment when you made that choice. Then you came into it and you started saying, what, But you said yes. The moment you said yes, you were already $11 trillion a day frequency. Receive it.
If no one else has a worthiness statement or anything they want to go into, we'll open it up to questions and answers. Do y'all have questions for us specifically? Something about trading or something about self-worth, something about our personal journeys that you're just dying to know, or something that you want clarified inside of this space in general? Like, no question's silly.
Or share.
Alana, I always see you. I watch your videos. I follow you on IG all the time, and I have watched you from Hawaii and blossom all the way into now, and it's been just like amazing, beautiful journey. And I want to know how you get comfortable with being so transparent in front of this camera and just letting people see you. I see you in your back and brushing your teeth. Like we were watching that journey. So how do you get comfortable? You know?
I don't, straight up, because it's like either I do it or I think my desire to share outweighs my personal embarrassment, and the personal embarrassment is getting a lot smaller, but it's literally all right, Gabby, thank you for coming. Literally, I just remember thinking, even from being a small child, that representation matters. I used to get so excited when the Olympics came on, especially the Summer Olympics, and I got to see people who looked like myself, and I'm like, man, maybe I can go run track and field one day. Or I used to get excited when I would go and, oh my God, there's another Black nurse in the ICU. Or so inside of this space, I was literally searching, and it's not about just people who look like me, but looking for a reflection of yourself, not only to help your confirmation bias, but looking for a reflection of yourself so you know that you can do it too. And I didn't see any traders who look like me. The first one that I found was Dr. Kathy Kirkland. And I found her. I went to a convention and sat and talked to her, heard her story. And from there, I was looking for more. I'm like, there has to be more. There has to be more. Can't just be one. It has to be more. And I just kept looking. So then in Lee, I found a female. And then, of course, there's a few others scattered throughout this specific community. But I start reaching out outside of the scope of this platform. Like, I need to see women. I need to see Black women. I need to see Black people. I need to, and it's not just that, but it's that too, because we're inspired. When do you look on the TV and you see a pop star, and you're up there doing dance moves, like, I could be a pop star too. It's the representation for me. So I'm like, who inside of this space is an echo or a reflection of me? And that was coming up scratch. It was hard to find. I might not be exactly where I want to be, but I have to be that. I got a whole stuff going on, but I don't want people. And the other thing about myself, I watch very little TV. I used to watch a lot growing up, but it used to be really technical stuff, like shows how stuff's made, because I love seeing how things are made. Like, do you know how long it takes to make a bowling ball? It's slightly insane. But I love things like that. So when I look at myself, I'm like, okay, well, how are traders made? Like, how are consistently profitable traders made? Is anybody from my neck of woods doing this thing? And if the answer is overwhelmingly a no, or it's very minimal, then I have a responsibility. It is my duty to step up and be present and representative. Even if I'm still working on myself, I would love to be a few dress sizes down doing this thing. I would love to have a nuclear family doing this. There's so many things I would love to have in place, but I'm like, it's bigger than that. It's really bigger than that. It's not about the external stuff. It's not about the material things. Like, it for me, I have to hold space for people who might be feeling the same way I'm feeling, because that might be their gateway to profitability and success. My mentor sat me down when I entered this, and he said, there's a lot of people who won't approach this opportunity or grasp this concept until you specifically open your mouth. I was like, oh, why are you saying that? No, it's so much responsibility, but it's true. It was true. Until I started opening my mouth, I didn't start gravitating and attracting people towards me. I met you because I decided to open my mouth. You've been asking me to teach for quite some time. The first time I stepped outside my comfort zone taught was in Hawaii, and look what's come of that. I never would have met KJ. I never would have met you. I never would have met a lot of people if I didn't push myself and go. So even when I'm not feeling my best, even when I feel like I could change some things if I feel morally obligated. And I've grown a lot because of that. That's so hopefully that answered the question. But
That was right on point. That was right on point. And I see what you're saying. So it's like you're basically letting it be bigger than yourself. And each day you step up, it's because it's bigger than yourself. And I can correlate that because that's how I feel about health and wellness too. Like I'm going on this fast right now and I'm not eating, and I get so many people say, well, how are you not able to eat? And I'm just taking in nutrients, celery juice, bone broth, things that nourish in my body. But I know that I have everything to fuel me because I educated myself and I did my research, and I know what direction it was going to go in to get me in. So I'm able to watch this path, but a lot of people can't do it. But I feel like I can do it because I know it's needed, and I know other people need to hear it and see it. And I feel like that's probably, I'm gonna take a big step. I'm gonna come off this camera. Come on this camera because this is one of the things I never like to do. But I'm gonna it's one of the things that I know is bigger than me, and I feel like that's part of the thing that's eating at me, is that I have to share my knowledge, because it kind of goes into that Bible story of the talents that were given out, and other people went out, they grew their talents, and it came back and it was more in abundance, and the other person came out and it was more in abundance, and the other one just took their talent and digged it and put it in the hole, and came out and got that talent. That was the worst thing to do. That was worse than anything. And I feel like right now, maybe I am hiding my talents when I need to be out sharing them and letting them grow and letting people know that they can be successful, because I just never know when my story could be that story that heals somebody's life or changes somebody's direction or puts them in a pivotal point when they were down at their lowest and they don't think that they can do something or move in the right direction. And the one simple word that didn't mean that much to me because it's my norm could be what was like a diamond to somebody else. And watching you on the platform, I want you to know, when I was at my lowest, when I was going through so many things, watching you was like a diamond. It really helped me come out. It was like a big, huge catalyst. And then you recommend me reading Outwitting the Devil last year. And that right there was such a big catalyst that grew into so many different things, and pushed me and projected me forward in so many ways and opened me up. And it sent me on this higher vibration of learning and knowing who myself, and then not just who I am for like nutrition, but mind, body, and soul, and how it all connects. And then also to the chart. Sometimes I feel like I don't even know what I'm doing, and I'm doing too much, and I need to give something up. But I feel like everything that I'm trying to pursue was of value, and I just need to figure out how to fuse it together. And I don't want to stop right now. And it's so funny. Like last year, William asked me, he was like, "Get your book list together. What's your book list?" And I literally told him, I said, "I don't know, because God has me on bread trails right now, and I'm gonna pick up each book as it comes to me." And even this year with me coming in there, not having a selection of books, I probably have read 20 books so far, and some of them have been over. I'm an Audible reader because I have bad eyes, but I have consumed that much. And God has been just sending me on these journeys and on these journeys and on these journeys. And I've been going and extending moments over and over again. But I feel so blessed to be in the room with you ladies. It's like you keep your company, the company of where if you are not there, at least it's helping you move in that direction. And that's where I feel like I am. And I'm hoping that soon this understanding that I have about like spiritual understanding, this understanding that I have about digestional health and everything will come and approach on these charts, because that's where I know I want to have this understanding that. And like I said, I show up because even if I don't have it, I know it's going to come soon. And that's why I'm here. So I just want to let you know everything that you do is so beautiful. And the reason why you show up there and you're raw and you're bare has touched me and moved me forward. And you are doing out exactly what you set out to do, at least for me. So thank you. And I truly appreciate it.
Thank you, Dio. Thank you so much. Every time you share a piece of yourself, it edifies me as well internally. Like seeing your growth builds me up, because it's like a feedback loop. It confirms that me pushing may push someone else, and they'll push someone else, and they'll push someone else. So I'm grateful. I'm very grateful for you. And keep shining. Oh my God. Look at that skin glowing. Y'all, she got two, like, how many teenagers? 2 teenagers?
2 teams.
Looking 20-something out here in these streets. Yes, I need to be on a fast too. Let me finish this cheesecake right now. Who else out here has something to share? Thank you.
I
Thank
got
you.
one more thing I want to say. I don't want to be hogging this up, but I just want to give shout out to KJ, because if it wasn't for KJ, I would not be here with you guys. I would not be in this higher learning. I would not be in this mindset. She shared this group with me. She brought me and seen something within me to share it with me. And I just want to send so much gratitude and so much positive energy and just love out to you for seeing something in me and sharing this with me. And I thank you.
Love you, and my heart saw your heart, and that's all that matters.
I love you too.
Benita, I see your mic unmuted. Would you like to share?
Yes. So I'll continue to speak, but I follow you, Alana, on Instagram from Curtis's shows. Sorry, I'm just so nervous because I don't know anyone, and I know I'm from the UK. Everyone's from the States, and I've got this issue all the time, but it's not an issue anyway. They're all ladies here. So if my voice goes up and down, I'm just a bit nervous, and I will put my camera on. I look a mess, but hey, there we are. I don't know.
You're gorgeous. You look a mess.
Oh,
You're beautiful.
yeah, there we are. Yeah, so I wasn't on yesterday, and I only come across this by accident because I saw Alana go live on Instagram, and I thought, let me see what this is about. So I've come on. So I haven't done my self-worth statements or anything, but what I wanted to share is where I am right now. And I think Alana's go live was meant to be, and I think what Kurt was talking about today, intuition, was also meant to be. But so I gave up my job as a social worker in May last year to focus on becoming a full-time trader, because I love trading. I love it. It's like, you know, you mark up your chart and it goes to where you want. That feeling I get inside, I can't describe it. So I gave up my work to become a full-time trader. I've got a loan and so on, so I could survive, because I wasn't making that much money to survive on being a trader. So, and also to be to be an independent social worker, because that's my profession. So I've since so what's happened is that I have had independent work. However, they're not paying me. The local authorities haven't paid me when they should be. So I'm owed a lot of money. So what I've had to do, I've had to return back to social work, okay? And the reason I left social work was because I was emotionally drained from being the social worker for the family. The social worker takes in this, the social worker does it, the social worker. So I left, but I've returned. I only started back last week, but I had to go through so much emotions. Everybody was saying congratulations, but I thought, well, this is not what I want to do no more. I want to be professional. I want to be a professional trader. I want to do what I like doing, and I want to be able to share this to the other women, other social workers who don't want to be in a profession but want to do something else to help other women. And this is what I want to do, but I find myself, I have to go back to work to live, to survive. I couldn't ask my husband for no more money. There's a limit. You want to go and get your own natural stuff, but you can't, because it was literally at a point, I'm bare my soul here. I was literally at a point where I had no money, not even £10 to go to the shop. And I'm a big 53-year-old woman, and I can't live, no. Them days for me had far gone, yeah? And to come back round, no. So I had to do something. But my issue was my self-worth. It affected me. I felt, oh my God, I can't even leave my job and sustain myself. So it affected my self-worth. And I know I'm a good social worker, but that is not what I want to do. So for me, I'm still working through my self-worth issues. I really love what all of you women said about everything about your self-worth, and that's really helped me. But I find myself at a point where, why do I have to go back to work? And I get so upset about it, but I can't keep getting upset, and I need to focus on the good parts. Okay, I'm going to get a weekly check because I'm a locum. I'm going to get a weekly check, but I don't want it that way. So for me, it's about my self-worth. Why do I feel this way about myself? Everybody's saying congratulations, but for me, I don't feel that I've done myself justice. Does that make sense? So yeah, and you said something about guaranteed job versus trade. That is exactly me right now. You know, I gave up my trading profits for a guaranteed job check, but I have to survive. I have to live. So which one? Which one is it? Which one do I focus on? So yeah, and I'd also like to say, all the women on here, fantastic. I love everything that you've done, and whoever, if whoever's running, if it's Summer or Alana, I'm in it. Okay, the time is what, 1:24 here now in the UK, but I'm in it. As long as it's not a weekday, I can't do too late, but I'm in it. So anything else that you guys are going to be doing, I love the transparency, and I love the feminine energy. I just love it. So I just wanted to add that as well.
Thank you, Anita. And I think everyone meets for a reason. So I'm grateful that you saw me when you saw me. And I hope to be able to inspire or help in any way, shape, or form that I can. I like to have those frank, transparent conversations again, because I know that a lot of people are thinking things, but they might be afraid to say them or might not know how to word them. So that's a legitimate fear and a legitimate feeling of man, I had to go back to work. That's literally how the system is set up. It's set up so it's just enough for you to possibly try and get by, but not enough for you to fulfill your dreams, not enough for you to get past that first level of Maslow's hierarchy: food, sleep, shelter, sex, like the basic bare minimums. They give you just enough to meet your basic bare minimums, not even, and then you don't have the ability to dream or inspire or create, and it gets you stuck in this feedback loop. So when it comes to trading, that's why I talk about my personal struggles with it, because I know that those are the things that are blocking a lot of you. The passion you have for charts, the passion you have for trading, the passion you have for the potential freedom that this space surely allows is there. So some of the tactical, tangible, practical things would be, have you identified a specific 2-hour window where you can show up to the chart consistently? That's the first thing. Show up to that same window of time every single day. For myself, I found, because I've literally traded every single session, there's been days where I've watched every single candle form on a chart. Like, I was neurotic about this thing. I personally found the first 2 to 2.5 hours of any trading session, be it Asian, London, or New York, will give you a clean setup. I don't care what strategy you trade. Your setup's usually within those first 2 hours. So that's the first thing. Second, how consistent are you with documentation? And do you know how to document? Whatever edge you trade, I don't care what edge you trade. Can you go to TradingView and put a risk reward tool on your chart and say, this would be my entry, this would be my stop loss, and this is my intended take profit? If you can't yet say those things, then it's strategy that you need. But if you can say those things, now it's a matter of execution and documentation. So it's literally steps, check by check. Do you have a time? If you have a time, can you show up to one of the first 2.5 hours of one of the sessions? You don't have to trade all three, but choose one and be consistent at showing up to that one. Then after you have that consistent window of time, whatever edge you trade, show up and trade that edge. I don't care what you're learning. Like, know that thing inside and out. I myself, I trade naked charts. I like trade completely naked charts. I just like looking at candles and price action. KJ uses some EMAs. I'm not exactly sure how Sony trades, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But whatever your edge is, don't be distracted looking to the left, looking to the right, looking at what anyone else does. Every person I know that's cracked 6, 7, or better figures, 8 figures inside of this market, they were consistent with trading one pair for a minimum of 6 months to a year before they moved on to other pairs. The reason being is you literally can look at a chart and take the label off of it, and you're just looking at price action. You're just looking at pure price action on charts. So if you can learn the rhythm of one pair without looking at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pairs, I did that for the first 2 years and it delayed my learning. Choose one pair. So a lot of people say, which pair do I choose? It depends on the 2 hours that you have to show up. You want to choose a pair that's going to move during the times you have availability to show up to the chart. So that's one of the biggest steps right there. So if you know you're going to be available, you literally live in London. London is the best session to trade.
I know. I know. And you know what? I was saying to myself, I live in London, States, and they say they have to wake up at 2 o'clock to get on the charts. For me, 2 o'clock, 7 o'clock, that's the time I'm up. But I can't make the profits. So I was speaking up myself so much about not being able to do everything you're saying. And in terms of the 2 hour, I have to try to rejiggle my schedule, because now I'm going to be working, 9 to 5. So now I'm rejiggling my schedule. And I think it's because I'm in London, and there's so many players that do move in London that I do struggle, because GU, EU, GBP, JPY, I'm on it. It's mainly the GB pairs that I like, because that's when they move. USD, JPY, I'm on it. SPX, I'm on it. And I can't. Do you see what I mean?
You can. I'm gonna stop you right. You can. If you can't decide, throw the names in a bucket, pick one out and commit to that. Commit to whichever you pick out of that bucket. Choose pairs that move during the window of time that you have to trade. So if you work, you said 9 to 5. Do you commit?
9 to 5, but
Or
hey.
what time do you have to leave your house by in the morning?
Well, I'm currently working from home.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Yeah, then block off those 2 hours prior to you working and dedicate that to trading. You're already alert. Go through your routine, getting dressed, bathed, and eat. Especially, this is my note for people who are working from home. Just because you're home doesn't mean you don't have to get up and prepare yourself as if you were going to leave the house. You show yourself duty to care about yourself. You show yourself consistency and routine when you wake up, take a shower, and get dressed, just as if you were leaving the house. Like, I'm working from home right now. I'm Zooming with y'all right now, but I got up, got dressed, put on a little outfit, threw on my earrings, and kept it. If you don't show yourself that level of consistency, you're telling yourself in an essence you don't care. So for all my people who work from home, don't trade from your bed. Ooh, I know I just hit somebody in the eyeball right there. Don't trade from your sofa. Don't trade from your iPad. Get up like a professional trader. Treat it like a job so it'll pay you like a job, okay? Get up out of your bed, wash yourself, brush your teeth. Whether you have a hot cup of tea, a nutritious smoothie, make a full breakfast. If you have to wake up earlier to allot that self your time, go through your confirmations, your affirmations to yourself. One of my friends who's an 8-figure trader gave me her routine that she does every morning. So I can also drop that. If y'all shoot me so I can make sure I get all of you, shoot me an inbox on IG and I'll send you a screenshot of her. She literally mapped it out, like 1 minute, do this, 2 minutes, do this, 3 minutes, do this. And it's a 25-minute chunk of time of things she does every morning before she hits buy or sell every single morning. So shoot me an inbox on IG and I'll shoot that to you. That's literally what she does verbatim. So I've been modifying myself, and don't feel pressed to get everything done on that list. I'm picking and choosing as I build myself up, because I'll freely admit I didn't have a routine for a long time. I used to trade from my bed. I used to trade my drawers. I used to wake up and get on social media and then try and get on my charts. Now, when I wake up, I sit and I pause for a few minutes. Pause. Just reflect. Clear my mind, get up. I'm gonna go have a cup of hot tea, or I'm gonna make a smoothie with my father. One of the two. I'm gonna go take a bath. I'm gonna go put on some fresh clothes. I'm gonna listen to some positive, uplifting music, or whatever you do to put yourself in the mood. Then I'll go to the charts and sit down. And I'm not hitting buy or sell unless I can identify a setup. The reason why I'm not rushing to the charts is because I know the money's there for me. It's an $11 trillion a day market. It's gonna be a setup. I'm not gonna rush. But if you do want to budget your time so you can show up and be present on the charts for those windows of time, wake up an hour earlier. Compromise that sleep. When you're hungry, it's a season of imbalance. A season of imbalance. You're working so you can get to an area of balance, but it's a season of imbalance at first, meaning there's things you have to sacrifice or rearrange in your life. But those are all very valid feelings, Benita. very valid. And just know that the hunger, what you've told yourself in a positive way, though, is despite you having to go back, you're still studying, you're still looking at these charts, you're still trying to get towards this answer. So you're telling yourself that you're worth this opportunity and you see the possibility in it. So don't lose that hunger or that passion. The next thing you can do is clean up your trading hygiene. That would be finding that chunk of time. Marrying one pair and committing to it for 6 months to a year, minimum. Documenting the trades that you take. You should be able to go to a chart and put your risk reward tool on there and have pictures of every chart. One of the other traders I've interviewed on my page, he's an 8-figure trader. He has a screenshot of every trade he's ever taken, ever. Like what? But in the span of less than 3 years, 8 figures. So you know what I mean? So the more dedication and the more serious studiousness you give to this, the quicker you'll reach your end result. You're brilliant. You gravitated towards this opportunity. It's for you. But I know I can honestly say I wasn't doing everything that I needed to do to get to that end result. Only when I finally did start cleaning everything up, then it clicked. So very shortly, you won't have to work anymore. And what I'll also say inside of this space, as far as people who learn from signals and things like that, straight up, look, I love the platform, I love the products, I love all that, but you will not have consistent, successful profitability and confidence inside of this space until you're calling your own trades for yourself. And that comes from learning one strategy, marrying one pair, and showing up and being present on these charts and just executing. Stay in demo for a minute if you need to. One of the exams that got me together so I could become better at this skill set, like measurable. I'm a very measurable person. I want, like, what metrics do I need to know to do better? FTMO, I'm gonna drop that website in the chat. FTMO.com. They have free demos on there. There's a young lady that I follow on YouTube who lives in London. Her name is Hannah Forex. Let me pull her page up. And I'm gonna drop that. You can binge watch her YouTube channel. She went through all her struggles of becoming a consistently profitable trader until she became consistently profitable, and she wanted to leave her job. And finally, she was able to. So I love looking for inspiration outside of this community, even because it's necessary to me for that inspiration. But yes, sis, everything you said is so valid, Benita, and I'm glad for your transparency because there's so many people who feel the way that you feel. You know, so here we go. Hannah Forex, and I'm just grabbing her playlist right quick, and I'm gonna drop this in the chat.
Kalana, while you're doing that, I want to make a recommendation. If you don't mind, I have had to go through the same thing as you. I had to go back to work, and I'm working full time, and I'm trying to balance it out, and that's like part of the thing that I'm going through. I just read the book by Lisa Nichols, and it's called Abundance Now. And this book is so beautiful, and she's such a beautiful soul. But she talks about that you have to change your mindset on how you look at your job. So a lot of people want to go into like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to do this, and they want to quit their job. And she's like, no, don't quit your job. Pivot that mindset. Your job is your investor. So if you can change that to not like knowing that your job is what's going to take you and bridge you into where you're growing, it can be that point that takes that anxiety out for you, so you can be able to walk in gratitude with it as you're moving on to, you know, to what you want to become. And that's what it has done for me, because I was like, I've been like exhausted and tired about working, but I'm walking in gratitude about it now, and it makes me feel better.
Thanks for that. Yeah, that's really that's what I'm trying to be, actually. Grateful that I actually do have a good, well-paying job that I can work from home. That's how I'm trying to twist it around, look at all the positive aspects of the role, rather than thinking I'm back to where I don't want to be. So yeah, the mindset is so important. I'll have a read of those, the links that you said as well. Thank you so much.
Your story was beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, DL. So is yours.
I just dropped a YouTube link to an interview Lisa Nichols did on Abundance Now. I love her afro. Oh my gosh. And It looks like she did an interview on Essence on 3 quick steps on how to get into an abundance mindset. So I'm going to watch that myself. I've never even heard of this book. DL, you're always full of so many good little nuggets. Oh my God.
I told you that's all I've been doing is reading. I've been doing a lot of reading.
That's amazing. You know what? I'm gonna share something that one of my mentors shared with me. One of my mentors, his name is Wanda Webb, and she recently wrote a book. She goes all into her journey of how she went from nearly being homeless, to being in a marriage she wasn't quite happy with, to being a mother to multiple children and feeling like she was losing her identity. She was also a nurse and was able to retire from that. She's more of a marketer, but has now dove headfirst into the crypto space. And I was talking to her about self-worth and worthiness about 2 months ago now. And I wound up crying on the IG Live like 3 times because she has this innate, unique gift. She's very in tune with her feminine, and she goes straight into like all of the things that she could still see that were unresolved in me. Like saw my progress, but saw the unresolved things still. And self-worth is still a really big one for me. I've made a lot of strides inside of that space, but that's an interview I would definitely encourage you to go watch. That's on my IG Live. Self-worth is a huge component of this. So for those of us who might still be struggling, trying to get past certain milestones, even myself, there was one specific milestone that I wanted to hit, and I was struggling with it. And when I addressed it, it was directly tied back to my self-worth and how I viewed myself and the level of importance I gave myself. And it's not just the words you say, it's not just affirmations, it's just not the things that you do. It's how are you actually showing up for yourself? The question I've been asking some of my friends lately is, what's your primary love language? Like there's a quiz that you can take, free quiz, where you can find out what your love language is. And it changes season to season in different times in your life. Yes, of course, Benita. And when you find out what your love language is, the question isn't, this is how I want other people to communicate with me. It's, are you communicating with yourself in that way? Like my primary love languages are physical touch and quality time. What things am I doing for myself to show myself things in that way? Am I taking myself for massages? Am I actually meditating? Am I reading? Am I pouring into myself in that way? And if the answer is no, then if I can't even show myself the type of love that I want to see and receive, how can I expect other people to show those things to me? And that hit, gut check, gut check. The other thing that Wanda said is that something that helps develop your self-worth and your confidence and your intelligence level is reading. She said minimum you should be reading up to an hour a day. But while you're training yourself to get to that, you do it standing. For the first 10 minutes, just choose 10 minutes a day. And if you can't give yourself 10 minutes a day of quality time, then you're telling yourself you're not worth it. So give yourself 10 minutes a day. This is homework too. Give yourself 10 minutes a day where you choose a book, any book of personal development or self-worth or something you truly enjoy. You stand up and you read it for 10 minutes at a time. Ideally out loud, because that's connecting neural pathways. Then and set a timer. Actually set a timer so when it goes off, you're done. And then after you can consistently do that for a week, increase it to 15 minutes. Then increase your timer to 20 minutes. And then increase it to 30 minutes. And then once you get to an hour, because you should be able to stand for an hour, ideally, I mean, we stand for other people, we stand for our jobs, we stand for our children, we stand and cook, we stand in. If you can stand for yourself for an hour and read, then you can trust yourself enough to sit down and read. And then it gradually extends. And you'll find yourself cutting out other unhealthy habits in your life. You'll find yourself doing a lot of things that you never thought that you could do. So I'm already knowing the wavelength that DL is on if she's been reading 20 books nonstop since I last talked to her. It's only second month of the year, y'all. I already know what type of woman you're becoming, the type of woman that you are, sis, my God. But definitely, Benita, I'm looking forward to seeing your light and your evolution. And I frequently will post events to my stories and my page. So just stay tuned in the IG because I love dropping stuff like this. I love having community events where people can just sit down and talk about the real things, about being human, about trading, about all of it. And I love gravitating high quality, high caliber people like yourselves towards me because it builds me up as well. Is there anyone else who would like to share or has a question about anything while we got the platform and the time? I would love to hear from Shelly, but I'm not gonna Not gonna push, but I love to hear from you.
I'll unmute. Hi, everyone. I've been kind of like doing laundry and multitasking everything. So if I don't turn my camera on, forgive me. But I really just want to say thank you so much for having this. This is awesome. I love this space of just honest, humble women that are together, sharing their stories, sharing their journeys, and just letting everyone know that it's not all glitz and glamour. It's not click a button and then you're in profit, you're 8 figures. It's real work. It's real dedication. It's real, it's a real journey, and it starts within. It starts in your mind. It starts in your heart and believing in yourself. And it's not difficult, but it's not as easy because you really have a lot of inner work that you need to do. And I know that I'm someone that's working on becoming a better me from the inside out. And this trading thing, I'm full transparency. I was talking to my mentor last week and I was like, I think I'm ready to quit. And then she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, because I just feel like I'm just not getting it. And I'm watching everyone else like clear and win, and I'm just not getting it. So maybe I'm just like the slow kid in the class. I'm just going to stop and I'm just going to quit. And she's like, no, we're not going to do that. So she had to sit down with me like, okay, like you taught me, Alana, like pick a pair, so on and so forth. So I had to kind of like go back to the drawing board, start all over. What is FRX, right? And really take it step by step and reintroduce myself and check my belief system, with the meditations and the affirmations and things like that. And I feel like now that I've taken that approach versus trying to do everything at once is working a lot better for me because I'm starting to understand more. Things are becoming more clear. And I really wanted to ask if you're able to share the trading plan and the different steps to take before you actually, take your trade. Because this week I've been doing a lot of demo and it's been going really, really well. But I would love to add, just the checklist of things that I can do to have a better trading experience and not quit, because it's easy to quit and it's hard to stick to something. And I just don't want to be the person that quits anymore. So just thank you. And this is amazing. And you ladies are awesome. And you hear my 6-year-old. That's why I wanted to stay muted. Either way, you guys have an awesome night. Thank you so much for this space.
Thank you so much. So I'm always amazed because I myself don't have children yet. I plan on it, but I'm around children often. My trading partner, my business partner, has 3 children, and I'm floored at the things that she's able to accomplish in a day. So those of you who are mothers, grandmothers, or even surrogate mothers, or you babysit your nieces and nephews, or you're just in the community helping people, hats off to you, because it's a lot to be responsible. And the fathers, I see y'all out there too. It's a lot to be responsible for someone else's existence, and their nurturing and shaping their paradigms and enriching them and filling them with confidence and self-worth so that they don't feel the things that we feel as adults. I used to ask the universe, like, why don't I have a family yet? But I know that the answer is until I resolve enough things inside of myself. There's things I don't want to pass down to my children. I want to be a whole healed version of myself before I procreate. So when you said becoming a better me, shot to the chest. That's it right there, sis. So definitely. And I'm glad to hear that too, that just slowing down, stepping back and looking at everything top down. Yeah, that's going to really help you focus. And if you don't have the discipline to focus on one pair, that tells you a lot about yourself too. It says Alana to Alana. Like literally when I first entered this space, oh baby, I had every pair highlighted. I had a tab on everything. I was showing up the air market every time and trading every strategy. It was reckless and wild. So anyone who's doing that, if you hopping back and forth or looking between 7, 8, 10 pairs, and it's not to look for divergence or to cross correlate, stop it. That'll delay your ability to learn. So definitely, again, just inbox me on IG after this is done. Anyone who's on this call, again, I'm Afro Butterfly on IG. Yeah, and I will send you both Michelle's checklist of what she does to prep herself for the day, and also just my bias of how I see the market. I'm a naked chart trader, so it's really simple. I do a top-down analysis from the weekly to the daily, and then I'm looking. My bias for the next day is literally, oh, yesterday was a bearish candle. I'm gonna keep selling unless it tells me otherwise. So yeah, I definitely don't mind dropping that infographic either. It's just two PDFs and 2 gifts. But yes, that's beautiful. That's honest. And hopefully this space will inspire y'all to go out and have these spaces amongst your friends, even if it's not specifically about trading. As y'all can see, anyone who's been in a trading space, all of these topics that we're touching on directly correlate to every other area of your life. They often say trading is one of the most introspective skill sets you could ever learn. You have to look at yourself before you can have success. Because you could, if I asked any of y'all like to explain a particular strategy step by step, I'm just trying to be judicious with using strategy names on here. You could probably tell me all 4 steps to get into the thing. You're like, but if I know that, why am I having trouble getting in? And it's something deeper. It was something deeper for me. So I'm telling you, it's most likely something deeper for you. So work on the reading homework. Try to stay in 10 minutes a day. Choose a book, stay in 10 minutes a day, set a timer, and develop that muscle memory. Not only are you showing yourself you can be consistent, but you're also developing yourself. Showing up consistently 2 hours of the day, choosing one pair, trading the same edge, documenting it. Yes. Oh, and the itinerary for Vegas. Yes. Let me drop that website in there. KJ and I will be in Vegas alongside DL and some other phenomenal women. One of my friends, Ocean, who's a phenomenal institutional trader, he's coming out to teach people his strategy step by step. That is www.mastermindsnipers.com. That is St. Patrick's Day weekend in Vegas. And there's a free Children's Day where we're giving away an Oculus and some Bitcoin and just teaching kids about financial literacy and money. Dr. K, another young lady that I did an interview with a couple of days ago, she was able to go into the Las Vegas school district and have free reign of an entire school. And they gave her a quarterly program. So every summer, spring, and winter break, she's able to go back and have these events for these children. Like she went in the schools off of Martin Luther King Boulevard, if that tells you anything. So that event, if you know anyone in the Vegas area, that's my unlimited future.com. Limited, I can spell future.com. There we go. So the children's event is free, myunlimitedfuture.com, and the adult event is just $100 for 2 days to sit down 8 hours a day with traders in this market who are withdrawing and ask them their strategies and things like that. We don't have the event televised just yet this time. It's the first one that we're doing. I think this is the first event that I've seen where traders are just gathering and getting together outside of like, I've seen Lee Allen have these types of events, but outside of her, I haven't seen any other events. The rest have been building events. So I wanted to do something a little bit different. KJ opened up her team to us and it just spiraled from there. My God. So definitely y'all, if y'all are available in that weekend, and I'll do my best to try and get video and replays of it if possible, but I'll be teaching the whole time, so that I'll see what I can do. But definitely I'll be having many more in-person events in the future because I understand that people learn best in person. And I'll see what I can do to have like Zoom features available in the future because I definitely didn't plan for that this time. But yeah, so there's that. And thank you, Shelly, for sharing because you're so amazing. I interviewed Shelly as well. She's so phenomenal. She's a women's life coach. So y'all go to her page. Let me link to her IG here too. She takes consultations. She's a phenomenal listener, phenomenal mother. But yes, is there anyone else who would like to share or has questions?
No question. So we're going to send out the resources and documents that we talked about and any links. The chat is saved, so any links that have been put, we'll add those to the resource page. And we have the email. So whatever email you signed up with, just be on the lookout for that. And we'll be sending that out to you. Thank you again, Alana, Somi, for allowing me to share this space with you both. I appreciate you.
Anyone else? Final notes from you, Somi?
No, I'm just really grateful. I love the energy of getting women together. And I look forward to everyone who added me on Instagram. I just look forward to all of us stepping into our glory, stepping into our gifts that we came to this earth. And when you step into your gifts, it just excites every single one of us because we're all connected. And, there might be just a few of us that are leading this call, but I believe that every woman on here has the ability to move in their gifts and share something that will light all of our souls on fire. So grateful for Night, grateful for Alana and just bringing us all together. KJ, Alana, and yeah, you all are absolutely incredible. I love this energy so much.
Well, definitely, y'all. I see your hands up. Shelly, did you have a final question or is that from earlier?
Yes, no, I have a question. I'm sorry. Some, I'm so sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Earlier, you mentioned the gentleman that when you broke down the I am statements and it sends out energy and it goes into the DNA, and that breakdown was so amazing, but I didn't catch the name of the gentleman that you said says that. Can you repeat who that was, please?
I don't even remember.
You said somebody, and then he says when you have to yell I am, and when you yell it.
Oh, that I was talking about Morgan Simpson, the
Morgan Simpson, okay.
Chairman 50.
Okay, okay.
She always tells people to yell, but yeah, the principles of voice comes from, I'm going to put it in our chat, but Joe Dispenza, but also there's a gentleman that did a test on the power of what we say, the power of our words, and did it to plants. It's amazing. I'll put it in the chats before we're finished here.
And
Thank you.
What I also do is after tonight, I'm going to go ahead and put a flyer together and a registration link up for our next event. It'll probably be 2 days from now that I drop that, but that'll be more trading focused. It'll probably be some obscure hours because I love trading London sessions, so it might be in the crack of dawn in the morning. But I would love to come together and have a trading session. It'll most likely be after I get back from Miami, West Palm Beach, and Las Vegas. So towards the end of March, I would want to do like an intensive trading boot camp where we're just on Zoom after I have a different internet service provider. And just literally go through the charts and have people ask questions and see what that energy is. I want to see what happens. But thank you for everyone coming. After I have time to edit these videos over the next 48 hours, I have the replay of both of these meetings up on YouTube, on my Digital Green Book YouTube. So make sure you give a follow so you can watch the replay of these conversations. And then just stay plugged into IG because you'll be seeing more boot camps coming from us, not just about energy, but about trading, because I feel as though everyone should have success in this space. I really do. But thank you all, and I'm going to wrap it here. I really appreciate every single person who came to this call, both days, 1 day, 5 minutes, however long you came. It means so much to me. So y'all have a blessed night.